in your EMS talk, EntreLeadership Master Series, fun exercise, would you humor me and let me be a part of it?
Yeah, I love doing this. And I don't think we've done this together, have we?
No.
Okay. So
We want to do it fresh. I want to surprise you.
It's going to be
with
fresh.
this.
So here's the exercise. Follow along with me at home, all right?
Okay.
You can do
I'm
this
nervous.
in
Should
the
I be
car.
nervous?
No, it's really fun. And don't overthink this, all right?
Okay.
Here's the exercise. I want you to think right now of your favorite story. You're going to have 2 or 3 pop in your mind. Pick one. So one of your favorite stories could be a novel, could be a television series or show, could be a movie. Could be a Broadway play, whatever. You think of one of your favorite stories. You got it?
Yep.
You're locking in on it?
Got it.
You got it. Now, I want you to think about the character in that story that you would want to play. In other words, the character that you admire, enjoy, have the deepest connection with. You got it?
Got it.
And then you're going to tell me why. All right, so here we go. I'm going to walk you through it. I gave you a little bit of time. What's your favorite story?
Okay. Now, before I tell you,
Oh, you're very neurotic.
Is
You're gonna
there-
have lots of follow-up
that's
questions.
true. But is the point of this to help me define my own
I'll
core
explain
values?
it in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, see, you're getting ahead. I'm
I
going
was-
to guide you, young grasshopper.
All right. I feel good about
What
this.
is your favorite story?
Aladdin?
Aladdin, fantastic. And the character that you most identify with, the character you would want to play in the classic story of Aladdin.
I'm going with the namesake, Aladdin.
Aladdin, okay? And now tell me why. And get detailed here.
Ooh, okay. I think, his backstory, he's a street rat in the movie. So he's coming out of kind of poverty. He's went through a lot of stuff. And here he is. He falls in love with a girl.
Yep.
And he's deciding my core values in the movie. Can I truly be myself? Can she know the true me? Will she still love me? Can we still have this relationship? And it's a beautiful tale. And Jasmine's got her own stuff going on with, royalty and her dad. But I just think it's a beautiful story of overcoming and the power of love.
Okay, all right, very good. So that right there tells me a lot about you. Because what you identify with Aladdin. So let's go through some of the themes you just mentioned. Number one, the street rat, I'm going to call that the underdog. Doesn't
Yes.
come from any special background. That's very true to your story, true or false?
True.
Yeah. So you come from, tell people the story.
Where do I come from? Where do I hail from? Is that the
No,
question?
your story, your background. You have an immigrant. You guys,
immigrant family, Middle Eastern, so relating to Aladdin in a deep way there.
and your parents first generation coming over here to
Yep.
America. All right. So you grow up in the Northeast in Boston suburbs.
Agreed.
What
And
kind-
I always felt like, I didn't quite fit in with the normal crowds.
Why?
I was kind of a creative type, didn't feel like there was an exact major and
Yeah.
path for me.
yeah.
And so I kind of stumbled through a lot of creative things and started here as an intern 9 years ago.
Right.
And really rose
But
up
even
through the
further
ranks.
back, in high school, and
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out where do I
Always
belong.
feeling like a little bit of an outlier.
Okay, and so now, folks, who are staying with us here, that's why you connect to Aladdin. Here he is, a street urchin, right? He doesn't actually belong anywhere to anybody, and you connect to that, right? And then
Absolutely.
you watch his rise. He gets put into a moment of, oh, he doesn't even belong where he belongs, right? He lies to her. We know how the story goes, and he finds himself in a place where he knows he doesn't belong, and yet he's doing it. And I think that really inspires you, and I think you really connect to that.
Yeah, there's some imposter syndrome in there as well.
That's it 100%. And yet the kid believes. He's kind of got this, like, I actually now have faked it long enough to where I actually do believe I can belong. And then he comes clean, and I am who I am, and he's the hero of the story. And so I think that's the exercise to begin to unpack for you, like, what do I value? So there's some things that you value. You value authenticity. You value love. You value you being authentic. You value other people being authentic with you, and you want to be in a place where you can just be George Camel and people love you the way you are so that you can make your unique contribution.
That's beautifully said.
So it's not a silver bullet to list out a thing of values, but again, as we teach core values, it's looking inward. That's what we teach here at EntreLeadership. And so that little exercise right there will begin to tell you a lot about yourself. Now, for sake of time, I'm not going to unpack all the ways that comes out in your work life.
Sure.
But as you begin to see that, you go, wait a second. So as a leader, if I value this in my life, how does that, we take George's example, and how does that play out and how George interacts? And I guarantee you, if Tyler were sitting right here, your brand leader, he would hear your answers and begin to go, oh, I see that here, I see that there. And so that's the idea. It's a self-awareness exercise, that little thing we just did. and it begins to help you see you the way you should see yourself.
And when it comes to that self-awareness, for a lot of leaders, it can be hard to look inward clearly and really look in that mirror. Does it help to have other people involved in the process that you trust?
Yeah. So ideally, you know, Whitney's sitting here, your wife, your brand leader, Tyler, and you're doing this exercise.
Feels like an intervention.
No, it's not at all. You know what it is? What we just got to was actually the foundational stuff that drives you. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're experiencing it, did it work for you?
Absolutely. I've never thought about it that deeply.
Right, but that's the point. We're going to the roots of who George is. And so, yes, it becomes really, really beautiful. I think it's a wellspring, like, of, okay, this is at the core of who I am and what really drives me. So what decisions do I need to now make based on what I know I value, right? And so remember, we talk about values drive actions. Values drive decisions. You know, and so it's a fun exercise, and I think anybody can do it. You could do it by yourself, but I'd love for people to do it around maybe their top leaders. Do it with their top leaders, exactly the way we just laid it out. You can't screw it up.
No wrong answers.
No wrong answers. And by the way, 5 minutes from now, you could give me a different movie, different character, and we'd see the same themes.